Welcome back to Road Gang Radio. Join Jimmy Mack and Lindsay Lawler's Gang of the Airwaves by subscribing to Radio Nemo on YouTube.
We celebrate all kinds.
Make it official. After all, if you're listening, you're already in the gang. The Road Gang.
Well, listen to that. The music has ended, and I'm here with Jerry Hayes, man. How you doing?
Doing good, Jimmy Mack. How are you doing, young man?
I'm Dan and Grandy. This is a special drop-in version of Radio Nemo, Nemo Nation. Throw it all in there. RadioNemo.com. You can find us live on 365. You can find us on Odyssey. You can find us on YouTube, where they're yakking it up on the Book of Face. And, of course, many of you guys are out there losing your heart on iHeart as we speak. If you are actually tuned in right now, it is a very special edition of all of those things, because we are broadcasting live from Wreaths Across America's Truckers Lounge. An old friend of the show, a young man at heart, a longtime friend of Dave Nemo, Jerry Hayes, is joining me this morning. Jerry, I was hoping you'd give us a little bit of background on yourself. You've been in this industry in many incarnations. Tell us a bit about what's going on in your world, how you got here, not just at this moment, but the long ride that brought us here.
The long process. I'm just basically, as I'm an old school truck driver. Started out back in the 80s, and started driving in Crete Carrier. Found out I was blessed with a big mouth, and made me one of the very first driver recruiters. And the story just keeps going on. And
we had a great talk yesterday. So to give people a sense of, yesterday was the driver appreciation and send-off dinner. It started at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that gives people, they do it that early because it gives people a chance, for all the people that want to say thank you to all the drivers, and a lot of the patriotism that kind of permeates and percolates that meal. That meal, by the way, is really good.
Wasn't it, though?
What was your favorite of the 4 meats?
I don't know. They were all good. I mean, I tore them up. I didn't have a thing left on my plate.
My plate looked like a Christmas dinner plate. I mean, it really did. Where you would tell people, don't give me too much of that. Why? Because I want some more of that, some more of that.
By the time you got to the end line, you could just take a teaspoon of each thing and still have a full plate.
Full plate. And so it was you, me, Dean Croke, a lot of our other friends, people we've gotten a chance to talk to. All the drivers are there. And what they do, guys, is when you come down here to drive, if you're part of the send-off crew, they give you a big meal and a big thank you. They make the drivers the center of the whole thing.
Yep.
Bring everybody up there. Everybody's got to say their name, how long they've been driving for, all that kind of groovy stuff. But you and I got a chance to talk. You brought up Crete, so you can begin at Crete.
Yep.
We were talking about how things get done right in so many ways in regards to how companies get run right. And it's the companies that remember the great line you told me, these are the people that make me money.
That's right.
These are the people that make me money. If
they are their number one customers, the drivers.
Yeah, and that's how they view it, right?
They've done it that way. Like I said, I started with Crete in 89, actually 88 as a driver. And I always felt when I actually drove for them, I'm with the company that does it right. Even as a company driver, that back then they had a load select dispatch. It wasn't no true force dispatch like a lot of companies. And still today, they run a very tight ship. They work, Tim Ashoff and all of them up there. They work super hard to make
big. People don't realize how big, and because of the family atmosphere, I think a lot of people don't realize how big they are.
Oh, yeah, they're huge. 6,800 trucks.
I know it lands on you when you begin to realize, but the fact of the matter is, it's so personable. And we've talked about this with Tim. I've talked about it with you. When you're not answering the shareholders, or when your shareholders are actually people that are working for you, makes for a very, very different atmosphere, because you don't have that board meeting you've got to walk into.
Oh, yeah.
Or the shareholders meeting where people are,
Tim only answers to Ton Ostergaard, and Ton has been there since way back when, since the 80s. And I will never forget, Ton is about as down-to-earth guy as you can get, just like Tim Ashoff, Dave Schnitley. They're all just super good folks, and every one of them, if you've ever sat down and talked to them, you can feel right from the very beginning that they're more worried about you than what they are their bottom line.
You also know who you're talking to.
Exactly. They're a super good company that believes in taking care of the drivers. Me and Dave Schnitley, we talk all the time because, like I said, I was with them for 6.5 years. Even as big as they are, and they're true over-the-road carrier, they're not just all regional or all dedicated. Yes, they do have some dedicated in some regions, but they're still classified as a true over-the-road company. But when you got your turnovers down into the the 30s,
and they count and they actually count their turnover legit
100%. If that rascal,
nobody retired who didn't retire.
No, if you retire, they count that as turnover. If you die, they count that as turnover. They count everything, because that's the only way you're going to get a true legit number. And they work hard. They don't. Their recruiting department is nowhere near the size of somebody that has that size of trucking company. It's about probably 1/3 of that size. I mean, I know companies that only have 1,000 trucks that got as many recruiters as Crete does. They just don't have to hire them because their turnover is so low.
We made the comparison to the Dodgers as well.
Yep.
The idea that it's like, we're not for everybody because we're not for those people who aren't ready to be excellent.
Yep.
This is turning into a big giant commercial for Crete Carrier, but I wanted to set a foundation for you. Because it's like so much of what happens in trucking these days is a lot of people fight their way to respectability or get their own education the way they need to get it. You have an opportunity and make the most of it. You have an opportunity to get in on the ground floor to kind of really start your career with. It's almost that's the other problem too. I know people that have gotten those great jobs early on, blown them, and then realize they go looking for Shangri-La for the rest of their life.
Yep, they're chasing that mighty dollar. With me, I learned so much at Crete that I've took it through all my life of how to do things right. And the best part about it, Tim and Ton Ostegard and all of them, if you really want to know what they do and how it works,
ask them.
Just ask them. They're not afraid to tell you because they know 90% of the people won't listen to them. But yet they're the most successful trucking.
Jerry, I have to tell you, what you just said landed on me like a ton of bricks. And no, and I'm gonna be a little confessional here because this is a smaller listening audience. It's a Sunday. It's a special broadcast. Right. We didn't get a chance to let a lot of people know. Some of this stuff's going to end up in evergreen stuff. But I'm going to tell you, there is the greatest gift you can give a human being who is gifted at what they do is not mimicking them. Mimicking them is always great. Ask them, how did you do it? How did you do it? Very few people, people on their way up might be a little bit more guarded, but people who had a functioning system that works, talk to them.
They have not changed much of nothing since the late 80s when I was there.
And COVID changed them, but only because they wanted to actually help everybody else out.
They worked 10 times harder when COVID. Even when the freight slowdown that we've been in for the last several years, because I used to have my magazines and everything, and I had to shut them down because of the COVID, and, the truck industry went downhill. Crete Carrier's drivers never slowed down, which is unheard of.
5-year plans do that for you, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the other thing is when you don't answer to stockholders, you can make investments in the next equipment. Yep. You can make decisions about how you're going to save up for your rainy day and all of that kind of stuff. Really, so you work for them. What happens after that? 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah, I was with them for 6.5 years. Then I got the opportunity to leave Nebraska because this Southern boy, Nebraska's cold. I just go and tell you, it's cold. I got the opportunity to go to South Carolina to be a director of recruiting for a company called Builders Transport. A lot of y'all might remember them as them ugly green trucks with that ugly yellow stripe down the side of them. But I was with them, and we actually grew the fleet. They had 3,000 trucks back then, and we grew them by another 300 trucks. Then, like I said, went from there. They started a company up called Arnold Transportation. A lot of y'all remember Arnold. It used to be the old Silver Eagle and then the Dowworth and LaBarnell out of Camp Hill. And Ed Arnold was tired of having 3 different recruiting departments, 3 different operations, 3 different everything. So he called it Arnold Transportation. And a very dear friend of mine, Dick Follis, was heading that up, and he brought me in. I left Builders to go down there to head up all the owner-operators because that was my background at Crete. I love my owner-operators. They're true businessmen. And if you tell them the true numbers and they understand the true numbers, you got a really good shot of bringing them on board with you. But they don't like broken promises. If you tell them something, be honest to your word. And that's the one thing I've always been able to do. Even when I was a director of recruiting, I told all my recruiters, if I ever catch you lying to a driver, you're done. Because
there's nothing worse than, especially when you're playing with people's hopes and dreams.
that's exactly. You're holding their whole livelihood in your hand, and if you can't tell them the truth, I don't care what company's out there. You can be the best company on earth, but you're still not for everybody.
Well, that's a big thing, we were talking about. I got a chance, the Bennett guys who were here yesterday. I don't know if you know this, but you and I called it. They were watching the Georgia game like crazy.
Oh, they are, dude.
Right. So, by the way, guys, for those of you who are joining us, we are broadcasting live from the Wreaths Across America Drivers Lounge, the Truck Drivers Lounge, which, of course, the first time Dean Croke, who was here yesterday, was blown away by it. First time Dave Nemo, who came last year, he was floored by it. Jerry Hayes, who we're talking to, will get to your first experience. But Jerry and I were also talking about the fact that, yes, go Georgia Bulldogs. This class of 1991 graduate of the University of Georgia, Jerry and I called it.
Yep.
We said that our friends at Auburn, who are no friends of any of us, our friends at Auburn gave us all a blueprint for how to beat the Alabama Crimson Tide.
You know what?
And brother, I went back and I watched the 15-minute. They give a 15-minute really nice visual encapsulation of what happened. They show the game, and man, the whole plan was put Ty Simpson on his tuchus.
That's it. And all they did was steadily put pressure on Ty Simpson. Same thing Auburn did, as bad as I hate to say Auburn's name, but, because I'm a firm believer in Roll Tide. But
Roll Tide.
There you go. But they watched that game. They had to, because they did exactly what Auburn did.
Everybody in the last month that Alabama played, actually, it wasn't Auburn. It was Brent Venables.
Yeah.
In the Oklahoma game, who showed them how to do it. It's just
if you put pressure.
Boy, is that man a good defensive coordinator and a good coach.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, man. Boy, Dabo Sweeney ain't been the same since Brent Venables left, has he?
No, not at all. Dude, Oklahoma's come a long way. But, again, they all give a true way to beat Alabama. I hate to say it.
Beat the Tide. Tide ain't going to make the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs.
No,
basically.
If they would have kept the score close.
If it had been a nail-biter, but the problem is the fact that when Duke won the ACC championship,
out they go.
It basically gave the committee every inch it needed to make sure that the highest-ranked team from the ACC would Miami, they've ended the Miami-Notre Dame argument. It's over. Alabama effectively ended the Miami-Notre Dame argument.
And the worst part about
they both get in. They both get in now.
Miami, Carson Beck, all of them. They honestly got a great football team. They need to be in.
Well, I said it before.
The numbers ain't going to say it.
No, they're going to make it, actually, because of what happened. I'm telling you right now, that Notre Dame or Miami would do the same thing to Alabama that Georgia did.
Yep.
Big defensive lines, really, and Simpson against Miami or Notre Dame would be in even bigger trouble because Kirby's a good coach with a great defensive line. The Irish Miami have defensive backs that can eat you alive. I mean, what is it? Half the All-American team is Miami and Notre Dame defensive backs.
Yep.
Yeah, Bama's done, and I know it breaks people's heart, but they got some problems over there.
They got some problems. They got to fix. They got to fix that offensive line to where when somebody's putting pressure on them, and that's all Georgia did. That's all. I hate to say that name again. Auburn did. But
that's what Oklahoma did. Let's go with Oklahoma.
I'll go with the Sooners, the Boomer Sooners.
Lindsay is very happy. Lindsay Lawler.
I bet she's bouncing off the wall.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, they're in. And I got to tell you, they're going to come down to Mateer if he can play some football. The reason I brought all that up was because we were talking about the people from Bennett, and you were talking about even if you're a great trucking company, everybody isn't for you.
Everybody.
And Ben and I have talked about that at length. All those people there. I said, look, you guys have a certain character to who you are, and it goes back to football teams as well. It's like there are people that fit your culture. There are great athletes who are good people who don't fit your culture.
Yep.
I mean,
100%.
I mean, that's the truth of the matter. I do have this crazy theory I wanted to bounce off of you about how companies kind of get put together and the genius of Nick Saban and some other people as well. Do you notice that Nick Saban is very regimented. The trains run on time. The process is there. Do you notice he always picks maniacs as offensive coordinators?
Dude.
And I know what he's doing. He is like, he knows that he's too uptight, and he needs a riverboat gambler on the staff.
Dude,
so
look at not just his offensive coordinator. Look at his defensive coordinators. them some wild, crazy people.
But I realize that's the strategy,
That
though.
is his strategy.
Is that he's the one that runs the process, that runs the system, that keeps the trains running, that keeps the kids running. But you go out and you get, and the thing is, can they be like Kirby Smart and transform into the guy at the head of the process, and then go get the maniacs? Because Smart did it.
That's it.
But Kiffin, we're going to find out. Kiffin did it at Ole Miss.
Kiffin's going to get his butt handed to him because, yes, he did something to me. And again, this is just me speaking. It's totally unethical. You got a team that these players depended on you at Ole Miss, you got them all the way to the playoffs, and then abandoned them.
And by the way, they could have looked LSU in the face. He could have looked LSU in the face and said, "We will talk when this playoff run is over with."
Exactly. That's all they had to do. But no, he had to, act like he's the almighty savior to the LSU Tigers and everything.
He better win. He better win, dude.
Because you know what?
Ain't no place left to go for anybody.
That's it, because people see what he done. They're not happy. Up here at Wreaths Across America, I've met a lot of LSU fans, and they're not the happiest camper with Lane Kiffin because they said, here's my problem. If he'll do that with a team like Ole Miss, that's going to the national championship playoff games, what is he going to do to us?
Yeah. The only thing I kept thinking is that his dad Monty passed away recently, and he really looks up to Saban, and I can see him talking to Saban and being in agony, and Saban being like, because Saban always wanted to go back to LSU. People don't understand about Saban. He loved Alabama, loved it. The thing is, though, is that Saban's Catholic.
Yep.
Devout Catholic. That whole family's from that part of Ohio. The culture from Baton Rouge to New Orleans resembles Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, culturally a lot more than it. Because Louisiana ain't the Deep South. Don't kid yourself, guys.
No.
It's something entirely different. It's a different thing. It's
people. It's a whole different.
Go Tigers! Go Tiger! You like Go Tigers? That Orgeron.
Go Ed Orgeron, man. I can't. I love the guy. He's a great coach. If to me. If LSU was smart, they'd have hired that man back. But the only problem with Ed is nobody can understand him.
And nobody can understand him. And he's got to get the right assistants perfect.
Yeah.
He's got to go get, Okay, that brings up the whole thing about the trucking culture and Wreaths Across America, too, that I think is really, really cool because this isn't for everybody. No. What we're doing right now is not for everybody.
I'll volunteer. I volunteer my time. I volunteer because I'm not a trucking company. I jump in my blue Dodge pickup, pulling my little 14-foot box trailer all the way from Alabama up here to this, to the cold country, the snow and ice.
Cold country, man. Cold. It's sunny right now. This morning, the view over the water this morning was fantastic.
Yep.
I could look at it for about a minute, and then I had to go back inside.
But I got the pleasure of doing something very special this year. I left down there in Alabama on Monday, and I picked up here on Tuesday. And I got to haul a special load of reefs, the big 3-foot reefs, to Arlington National Cemetery. They had to be there on Thursday because these reefs are being given to all of our, American allies. Each one of the countries that have offices and everything in Washington, D.C. that are full supporters of America, they're going to have a ceremony Monday, and they're going to give these reefs to each one of those countries. It is so cool. I will show you. You guys can't see, but Jerry's going to show me. Joined by Jerry Hayes this morning here at the Wreaths Across America Drivers Lounge. Our good friend Madison with a T is over in the city of New Orleans at the Degas House, the Fastport Studios. Big thanks to our friends at Fastport for making that studio possible. That's amazing, by the way, guys. It is 3 people standing behind the wreath, and it actually is the width of all 3 people. Yep.
Which is amazing. And so all of our allies, is it people who are with us now, or is it people who were with us in World War II, or just people who are with
us now, who's been supportive of America's, like Italy, France, and all these other countries.
And driving that by, that's the big thing about this culture. You kind of have to be we talk about the term of mindfulness, although I don't know if you've heard this comedian saying that anybody who grew up before 1990 doesn't practice mindfulness, they lived it.
And if you look in the center of the reef, the country, it shows their flag.
There's Germany. That's Germany right there.
That's what I'm saying.
There's Germany right there.
So they're going to be doing that. Hopefully I got to visit with Steve, the chairman of the board of this association down there that's doing this, and we hit it off. he's supposed to send me pictures of the ceremony and everything just because I can keep it in a scrapbook and everything for my wife. But, yeah, it was just so cool. And then I turned around and turn and burn and come back up here. And Rob and Moeller and all of them are getting ready to get me my next load and send me off my Blue Dodge again.
When are you getting out of here?
Courtney and him said I will be loaded today.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate, by the way, that you weren't loaded this morning because it means I get a chance to talk to Jerry Hayes. We're going to be spending some time together. You can stick around for a while.
Oh, I'll be here for a while.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about this. Guys, this is a special broadcast just like yesterday, about 2 hours, and then we're going to call it a morning. I got when we get back into this side of the break, Jerry.
Yeah.
They told me that my bag got sent to Providence. It is now going to Bangor, but it's still in Washington, D.C. Let me go get some coffee, guys. Madison, run a long break for me. We'll be back after this. It's Road Gang Radio special edition of the coverage of, the drive to Arlington. Remember, honor, teach. My friend Jerry Hayes is here. Friend to us all.
Seventeen Sapp Brothers Travel Centers are known for great food, hospitality, and mom-approved showers and restrooms. But don't forget the service centers. Sapp Brothers ASE certified technicians can repair nearly any issue in shop or roadside, including axle repair. Dig into your free steak dinner with your oil change. That's a Sapp Brothers tradition to thank you for your business. Tires? Sapp Brothers will beat any competitor's advertised price on tires. And download the Sapp Brothers app for exclusive promotions in the shop, restaurant, and store. Your spot under the coffee pot is waiting for you at Sapp Brothers.
From the wee small hours of the morning to the crack of dawn, Radio Nemo has been there with you.
Whether you've got the overnight or you're the first wheels on the road, Radio Nemo's been where you need us to be.
Providing the laughs, giving the facts, playing the tunes, and keeping it rolling.
We've been your light in the darkness, your first cup of coffee, and a voice of sanity.
Semi-sanity, actually. We're all a little crazy here. Crazy for the men and women who keep this country going and moving and doing.
Crazy for trucking, crazy for truckers of all shapes and sizes.
Is that a fat joke?
Not if we can help it. Because it isn't just about the rules and regs. It isn't just about the day-to-day. It's about your health, your homes, and your hearts.
So we wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you from everyone at Radio Nemo for sticking with us, standing by us, and keeping the traditions rolling into the future.
The Joshua Chamberlain Society is unlike any other veterans organization. It's truly a family, and I know that firsthand from working with them myself. Their mission is to make wounded veterans and families of deceased veterans feel the support and appreciation of their community for life. Our veterans' injuries are permanent, and so is the JCS support. From monetary assistance like paying utility bills or college funds to helping our heroes find purpose, JCS is a family that surrounds and supports the heroes who have sacrificed so much. Learn more and make your donation at chamberlainsociety.org. That's chamberlainsociety.org.
Check out the new over-the-top lineup at participating Country Pride and Iron Skillet restaurants. 3 gigantic sandwiches loaded with flavor. Try the Chicken Parm Stack, the Big Country Combo, or the Ultimate Smash Melt. The Ultimate Smash Melt. 2 delicious smash burger patties, surrounded by 2 grilled cheese sandwiches. 2 sandwiches in 1. Visit your favorite Country Pride or Iron Skillet restaurant and come hungry.
Available for dine-in only at participating Country Pride and Iron Skillet restaurants inside TA or Petro Travel Centers.
It's so nice to have Jerry Hayes with me. I'm actually, it's like this happy act, kind of a sort of a happy accident because you and I did talk a little bit about you and I talking today. We were in the middle. We are actually engaged in a kind of free flow. I don't know if you noticed this. We're managing to drop in news and information along the way. We're talking about Jerry's background, and we're actually driving, kind of showing you what kind of person Wreaths is looking for, using Jerry's bio as a way of doing that. You're at Crete.
Yep.
You get out of Nebraska. You head down to South Carolina. Take us from that point. You had 2 green trucks and
green trucks and everything. Then I went to Arnold for a couple of years, and then got the pleasure of getting to the marketing and advertising side of the industry, with working for, old Keith Pollard back in the day, trucking 98, trucking 99, 2000. Learned a lot about the market side of the business. Started our own magazine. A lot of people know us from that because everywhere we go, everybody talks about my daughter-in-law, Mandy, who wrote all the articles on drivers when we started National Trucking Magazine. It was huge for us. We were in over 4,000 locations. People thought we were crazy for doing it, but we supported the drivers. Every story we ever wrote, Mandy wrote stories, life histories, and some of the audience is probably going to remember them because everywhere I go, people say, man, I read about so-and-so. I read about this driver. I know Candy Bass, and I know all these folks.
Do you guys have do you guys have all the stories collected in one place?
Still. Yep, got them all.
Well, it would be really interesting maybe to take a lot of those stories and, we do, Claire and I do a lot of fictional stuff, do a lot of, when I say fictional, I mean like post-production, pre-production, all that kind of stuff. We could do a whole audio series on them. I mean, how long were each one of the stories?
Anywhere from 6 to 8 pages long.
The word count is...
it's, God, every one of them changed, to be honest with you, Matt, because a lot of drivers, they were kind of, even though the way we had it set up, you had to be nominated by another driver. It couldn't be a company, stuff like that. If it was a company, we might have done it if there was a really good story behind the driver. We done one on a gentleman that passed away, and this is what tells everybody about the history of this small, huge industry, but really small. We wrote an article when we first started. A gentleman by the name of J.W. He was an owner-operator for Bennett Motor Express because I'm very close with the folks at Bennett, David Lowry and all.
I love them. I love them.
Even the old cranky, the one and only, he's hilarious. He's a great guy, Phil Hibbs. I don't know if you knew Phil or not because he might have retired by the time you got in it, Jimmy, but he's a great guy, knows the industry blindfolded, and Phil's a dear friend, and him and some other boys nominated JW, and it was so cool. Every time I went out anywhere, we would stop at different independents. I love the small mom and pop truck stops. I love them. And so I stopped at this mom and pop, and I told them who I was, and this lady, she says, I just want to thank you. And I said, thank me? She said, yeah, there's a driver that comes through here every couple of days. He lives down the road from us, and he is one of our biggest fans at this truck stop, and his name is J.W. And I said, the one that was with Bennett, and she said, yep, that's him. She goes, every time a new magazine comes in, all of us sit down and read the stories that Mandy writes about these drivers because it's a life history from when they were little kids all the way up to where they were today. And J.W. is no longer with us. He passed several years back, but Bennett and them still have that magazine in their office.
That's but my conversations with them all the time. We talk about recruiting, what kind of driver they're looking for, and we're laughing about that because they're faith-based company. They're a company very based on faith. And a generous conference. We actually in a generosity of faith. I won't lie to you. There's a certain kind of faith that makes me kind of head in the other direction. Not theirs. And the reason why is when they first brought up to me the idea of having Pastor John open our show every morning. I've had some bad experiences in the past. Like Pastor Joe was terrific. We had some bad experiences of people coming on and telling people they're going to hell, and I'm all that kind of stuff.
Everybody believes what they want to believe.
Pastor John shows up, and basically he makes demands of the individual. He says, act as if everyone else is doing just fine, and you're the only one who needs to get some work done on yourself. And we were talking about that with them. And I said, look, there are people who are great drivers and good people who don't belong in this company.
100%.
And there are people who are, there are people, great drivers and good people. I think the trick in many ways, I think it may be one of the few businesses in this country where you depend upon your competition actually being quality work. Mm-hmm. They need to be, because if they're not, people get an overall impact. Every single one bad truck driver makes people think that
everybody in the industry is that bad.
You only remember, Dave and I have a different take on it, but it's the same take said differently. Dave's always goes, look at that truck, saying that they never see people behind it. I always say that the only truck that matters is the one you have the worst encounter with.
Yep.
Every other truck is that truck from that moment on.
You see it, and everybody, like a perfect example, when I was going down to Washington, I'm sitting there, we're stuck on the New Jersey Turnpike, and this driver, he was a foreign driver, and I don't mean to sound that bad, but he was a foreign driver. He was talking on his phone. There was the car in front of me was right in the middle of his trailer, in our lane. This boy right there, all of a sudden, out of the blue, just turned. And luckily enough, we were at stop-and-go traffic, and I always leave plenty of room between me and the car in front of me because I don't like being involved in stuff. And if it wasn't for that young lady thinking so smart, she threw that thing in reverse and had to back up on the New Jersey Turnpike.
You ever done stuff like that and realized that you weren't even thinking about it? Like, there's no count. You're like, how did that work?
Now, she did. I will say this: when she got by up there by the cab of that driver, she was giving.
She let him know he was number one. Huh?
Yeah, no, she was giving him an earful, not just showing him. She was getting on to him. But you know what? He needed to be getting on to. There is a tremendous amount of really good drivers out here, that the ones like up here at Wreaths Across America, these are just good, honest, hard-working
They're
folks
good drivers. I mean, that's the thing.
That are making a living, supporting this organization, just like I do. It's going to cost me a pretty good chunk of change for everything that I do to come up here. And I'm just pulling my pickup with a little box trailer and hauling Wreaths. But all it takes is that one driver, just like on that New Jersey Turnpike. That lady now probably thinks that every truck driver is sorry just because of that one incident.
Give you a couple of things here really quickly.
Okay.
Speaking of drivers we like, Trucker Bosun, who is a regular caller, says, congratulations to the Hoosiers on breaking a 37-year losing streak to OSU. We haven't even talked about Kurt Signetti.
No.
Another, by the way, he is not the lunatic. He's the Saban disciple. He is the reincarnation of Saban. Our good friend, the Paranormal Pie Man, says, yo, as he always does. Bruce Almighty says, good morning, RGR. And Joe J is now here. Happy Sunday, friends. Snowy, windy day at the house. It's that's the other thing about coming up here too. It's not just people giving you their time; they're not giving you their hearts. We were talking about this. The weather here.
Yep.
If you are a Southern boy, you need to get ready. Unless you are, there are a couple of places in Texas and in New Orleans with that wind and that wetness. There's nothing like this up here. It is like
2 degrees.
It's a make you angry cold.
Oh,
my brother calls it a growler, where you walk out inside and go, come on.
Yeah.
All right. So you got the magazine started, and that's. And that's giving you a chance to tell a lot of stories, right?
Oh, like I said, Mandy wrote articles on over 400 different drivers, and she has a monster following. Some of them, to give you an example, Candy Bass. Glitter Granny Candy.
The candy store. By the way, it moved. It's now in Florida. The candy store is now in Florida.
The candy store down in Florida. Ingrid Brown. A lot of
nice lady.
She's wrote articles.
Great
on
driver.
Her. Dusty Chrome. I mean, I can go down the list. Dan Brown, Dave Brown. And I can just keep going because Jack Pringle. There's just so many of them. And the best part about it, I'll never forget. Mandy made a comment one day right after we really started getting into interviewing drivers, doing it the right way. Mandy was nervous as she could be when she started, but there's one thing she said about almost every driver, all the 400-something she interviewed and did stories on. They were so humbled. They were so humbled that somebody actually acknowledged the life that they've gone through and the achievements they've come. It made me feel very good being one of the owners, as me and my wife. And we stuck to our guns all the way till June of 2023. Talking about Bennett, Dave Lowry, he was on my very last cover, the folks at Bennett. And I actually hand-delivered it myself to David Lowry and Bill Trotter and them. They got on to me because they said, Jerry, you're the last of the old school advertising. I said, well,
Have you thought
going digital?
Have you thought about having an online site in regards to all those bios? I mean, how are you handling that?
We've never even really pushed that far.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's. I mean, I might ask you. And by the way, anytime people say "let's talk," it means one of two things: either they've got a really idea that they think you can help with, which is great, or always avoid this let's talk. I have something that I'd like to do, but I'm too lazy. Why don't you do it for me? I can promise you it's not the second one. I can promise you it isn't the second one. Hey, guys, if you want to give us a call, you can as well at 615-292-6366. I know a lot of you guys are just enjoying having a Sunday just to get a chance to listen to somebody talk. Keep your little company as you make your way down the road. Tell me about your experience at Wreaths. We've been talking around it. We've been getting there. So how do you find out about it? How do you end up here?
I found out about Wreaths Across America back probably 8 or 9 years ago. I really like what they do of, taking these wreaths, people, trucking companies volunteer to haul these wreaths to all these military soldiers that have passed and lay a wreath on the soldier just so that he's not forgotten. That right there, to me, being an old soldier myself, means everything to me, that we don't forget who actually paid the ultimate sacrifice, who volunteered to put his name on the bottom of the line to give the ultimate sacrifice for this country. Yeah. And so I was here last year. Me and my wife, we now travel around in a travel trailer. We do the RV life and everything. And I come up to Bar Harbor last year, and Dave, one of the guys that works with Walmart, and he does tours and everything for Wreaths around to show them what to do, took me and my wife around, and we went and met Merle. He was out there at the Lindbergh crate. He's a country redneck. I don't care what.
Well, no, I mean that's the thing, guys. We'll make this really clear. If you come up to Maine, there are New Englanders, but like oh no, Scott, Scott Harris. Some of these guys, some of these truckers you meet up here that are from here. Oh, you know what I always say? Maybe if we just use the word rural, there's something. I mean, it's like they would be like they're rural.
Rural country folks is what they are. And we sat there and talked, and we hit it off. And I told him, I said, well, if I know you only haul with semis and everything like that. I said, but Merle, if I thought for a second you could use my little 14-foot box trailer, I said I'd hook it up to the old blue Dodge, and I'd drive my tail all the way up here because I believe in what you're doing. It is too cool. And so last year I was up here. I hauled over 2,000 wreaths with my little Dodge and my box trailer. This year, like I said, I've already got to go to Arlington with some ceremonial wreaths. I'm waiting now for my next load. And every time they throw one on, it just puts a smile on my face. I wished, in all honesty, I know there's a lot of drivers out there that who want to do something but don't know what direction to do it.
WreathsAcrossAmerica.org.
That's it. WreathsAcrossAmerica.org. Ask for Courtney.
Yeah, she comes on a regular basis. Real quick, we got Bobby McDonald on the phone.
Okay.
Bobby McDonald's giving us a call. Bobby, good morning to you. Welcome to Road Gang Radio, special edition from the Driver's Lounge. How you doing? Do I got a Bobby out there?
Hello, Bobby.
Hello, Bobby. Is there a Bobby in the house? Do I got a Bobby in the house? Bobby in the house.
I think Bobby done.
Bobby done left the building.
That's it. Bobby done left the building.
See if we can get you back in, Bobby. It's all good. It's all well.
Call us back, Bobby.
Call us and give us a call back. All right. So you found out about 8 years ago. You talk about the idea that you could do this in a big truck. You could do this in a van. They've got something for you to do.
Oh yeah.
Even if you can't get up here, even if you're in some small town across America, there's a cemetery. I promise you, somebody has bought a wreath with somebody's name on it. There is somebody that has to make that delivery. There are people who need to volunteer. Somebody, hey, you might not have anything going on in your place, and find out that there are 4 or 5 veterans in the local cemetery. You might want to throw a party and get some people together and see who's interested in helping.
Exactly. And like last year when I was out delivering, I met some of the most nicest people. Now, their cemeteries were little small cemeteries, like one stop only had 7 boxes of wreaths. Right. That's all they needed because it's a small little
It's
But they
amazing
got
how
soldiers that
how,
give
how
everything.
places go from being spooky to incredibly moving once you kind of know the
Exactly.
stories that are kind of in there.
Exactly. It will make you very humble about what really goes on in this country.
Well, and the other thing is you brought up the idea that, we're making sure that the soldier, that the person who's the wreath is going to is never forgotten.
Never forgotten.
What's important, too, is that the people who love them know that they're not forgotten.
Good
God Almighty, it's ridiculous. Have you seen that ridiculously wonderful movie Up? The Pixar film with the little boy. At the end of the movie, I'm not ruining it for you. End of the movie, he's a Boy Scout, and his dad never shows up for anything. And Ed Asner is the voice of this character, this grandpa-ish character. At the end of the movie, they're giving out the merit badges. And he says, do you have anybody here for you? He goes, no. And he goes, I'll stand for him. And the old man walks out and joins him. There is just something so nice when you think your mom, your dad, your son, your daughter, your beloved friend, it's just you and them.
Yep.
And we were talking about this yesterday with Dean. St. Ignatius in Cleveland, the high school, has the has the pallbearer ministry, and any time that a person who is homeless or only has one or two family members, very few, is going to be buried, these boys, 240 of them, 6 are assigned to each person. They come in and they act as pallbearers. They dress to the nines. They bring their friends and family, and they show up and they do that.
Another thing they do that, to me, again, this is to me, that I think is just freaking awesome. If you're up here, please go by the headquarters and get a dog tag.
Oh, my God.
If you got a granddad, an uncle, anybody, they will actually make a dog tag for you, and they will take you out to their area where the reefs are, and you get to put your uncles or grandparents or whoever dog tag on this tree, and that tree will never be cut within 16 to 18 inches of that dog tag. That tree is now your tree. I had a special privilege. I promised a very dear friend of mine I would do this. I don't know if you know him. His name is Joe Goring. He's from Minneapolis. From St. Cloud, Minnesota. He was the vice president of Anderson Truck Service, and he lost his father here back in March. And it hit him hard. And I don't know, about a month ago I told Joe, I said, you know what, Joe? I said, I'm headed to Wreaths Across America, and I'd like the honor of putting one of the dog tags and naming one of the trees after your daddy. And Joe's never been one to just not say nothing. He drawed a blank. It blowed his mind. And so I called Courtney and said, hey, can we get this done and stuff? And she said, Jerry, absolutely. Well, on my way up on Monday, I called Joe and I said, Joe, I need your military information. He said, why? I said, because you're going to have a dog tag right next to your daddy on this tree.
Oh, man.
And he said, you are kidding me. I'm kind of getting choked up because Joe's a dear friend.
That's okay. You're talking to a sentimental Irishman from New Orleans. I'm going to live with at some point, too.
Well, me and Fred up here with Wreaths Across America, I've known him for years. Me and him went out there after we got the dog tags, and we took pictures of it, and we pinged it. So Joe, if he ever comes out here, he said, I'm coming out there to see this. That's something I'm doing. He's retired. He said, me and Tanya's we're going to do it. Is this what you just did? Is too cool. And so I actually made one for myself, and I put it on a tree directly behind theirs. So now next year.
Nice to be in good company when it's all said and done.
Well, it's not, you think about it. They just did something that's bigger than anybody's ever thought of. They have a national cemetery of soldiers out there.
Yeah.
Their dog tags have been on these trees.
One of the moms at Arlington one year, I was at my Uncle Larry's grave, and she asked me about him. I know enough about Larry to kind of know what he had done with his war. Hold on one second. I'm going to pause right here so my friend Jerry can take his phone call. I got Bobby McDonald on the phone, of course. Can I? Is he? Who's on the phone? Wait, hold on. We got all kinds of chaos going on here. Who you got on the phone?
I got Miss Jane Good.
Hey, tell her Jane. Jane is talking to us really quickly, but Jane, why don't you give us a call at 615-292-6366? Can you do that? 615-292-NEMO, 6366. Give us a call. All right. Let's get to Bobby here real quick. Okay. Bobby, good morning to you. How are you? Do I still have you?
Good morning. You finally made it to Maine.
Yeah, we made it.
We made it, dude.
Oh, my God. Can you hear me? Oh, my God. It was the craziest thing. I did make it, but it is still going on.
You literally lived the movie Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. You do know that.
I did. And the funniest part about it was literally like thinking tactically. After getting devastated by the last cancellation, and turning around and realizing I was in an airport and there was no chance of getting to Maine, and seeing Providence as like the place that would save me.
Yep.
and I'm in line purchasing the ticket while at the same time making the Uber arrangement, and also making the arrangement to flip-flop the reservation from Bangor to Boston to pick up the rental cars. It was chaos. Yeah, Bobby, it's been. And then, of course, the furnace blew last night at the B&B, so it was 40 degrees inside. It really was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But the parents of the owner of the B&B came to the place and waited with me until the handyman got there to fix the ignition. These people were so. I ended up knowing their life story.
There you go.
Planes,
Northern
Trains, and Automobiles.
hospitality right there. Northern hospitality right there. You're up there right with Dean. Poor Dean was freezing, too, he was telling me, so.
It's good. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. You guys just wanted an update when I was on last about my tree hauling. I did one more load after I was talking to you guys. I did a 3-dropper. Everybody was all ecstatic about getting them. I got lost in Boston trying to find one of my drops. It was great fun. So we are done hauling. This company that I work for, we're done hauling them for the year, and everybody's got their trees. They're happy. There are still trees moving, but and it's snowing here right now in Antigonish. I'm just waiting. I'll be leaving tomorrow with a load of lumber to go down to Maryland. So a different kind of Christmas tree, Christmas tree.
And by the way, Bobby makes a really good point that Jerry and I have made. We've made over the last couple of days. Don't forget, guys, a lot of these men and women, they will do their bit to make the wreaths happen. And by the way, fathers and sons are walking in here right now, but they will do their bit to make the wreaths happen, and then they will go right back to work.
Yep.
Right back to work.
Yep. That Wreaths Across America, that's a cool thing, man.
Yeah. Let me ask you really quickly too, Bobby. What are the Christmas plans now? When do you get your next break? Because the crazy thing about wreaths is that for a lot of people, that is a break, which means they don't get another break after that for a while. When do you get a next kind of slowdown for you?
Well, I got my reload. Once I deliver, I'm picking up. I got to come all the way back, go across to Newfoundland, which it's an island just off of Canada there. It's a 7-hour ferry ride. So this time of year, you're at the mercy of Mother Nature. The winds can come up. You could be sitting on the dock for 2 or 3 days. So we'll see what happens to get over there and come back. The company usually gets us back for Christmas. We spend some time. If we want to go out between Christmas and New Year's, we can. Usually I don't. I use that as downtime to kind of just chill. And then I wind her up again in the new year. But we'll have to see. I got to get back from Newfoundland first after this rounder and see what happens.
There you go.
Bobby, we love hearing from you, man. And I know Dave, who is listening right now, is thrilled to be hearing from you. I never thought I'd have Bobby, Jerry, and myself here all at the same time on a Sunday when I'm never on the air anymore. I used to work every Sunday. Bobby, go be safe out there. Have a great time, dude. I hope you're doing well. You're the best, man. And
have a safe ride.
By the way, your content is really eating it up out there, so well done. Good job.
All right. Awesome, guys. Listen, if I don't hear from you or talk to you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff, guys. Behave yourselves, all right?
Thank you, man. Bobby McDonald, good to hear from good people, by the way. Dean Croke turned us on to him in regards to getting him on the show, and he was a terrific interview. I tell you what, we've only got about 2 or 3 minutes left before we have to take a break. We want to get Jane on when she calls in. I don't want to give her short shift though, so we'll wait to kind of bring her on at the top of the next hour. We're almost there anyway, so hold on tight, Jane. Don't get thrown to the wolves. We'll be talking about that really soon. Thought we'd wrap up with Jerry Hayes on the last thing we've been talking about here. So 8 years ago, you found out about them. You've been working with Moral.
Yep.
So you find out about them. Have you been up here every year since then, or has it been?
No, last year was my first year because, again, I didn't think that they could use a box trailer.
Right.
And when I was talking with Merle, he says, Jerry, he said, I'll tell you right now, we need you more than what you could understand. He said a lot of these small cemeteries, You can't get a semi in. They have to come unload them at a Walmart and then shuttle them to the cemetery. He said, well, your truck, you can just take them right to where they need to go. And I said, well, if you can use it, then by God, I'll be up here. And
well, it's funny because, the thing is that trucks are tools.
Uh-huh.
And people always forget to think like that. The idea that some tools you need a really big tool, and sometimes you need something to get really into the small.
You need a little bitty 3/8 wrench instead of that daggum 1.25 inch.
Exactly.
And so that's how I got up here. I talked with Courtney. Courtney says, Jerry, we will have you a load. And then I had so much fun, and it humbled me a lot when you're looking at what they're really doing for these veterans that have passed. And it's, again, they're never forgotten. When you go by a cemetery and you see all these wreaths out there that, you just delivered, it makes a difference in people's lives. And it made me really appreciate what I got here in America. You know what I'm saying? But this year, Courtney called me about, I don't know, a month and a half ago, and she said, Jerry, we're going to get you loaded again. She said, but I got a special load for you. And that was that load down there to Arlington National.
That's a great load.
And that, just getting to go to Arlington National, anybody who's ever got any military blood in them at all, who's ever served this country, and you go to Arlington National, it will make you want to join Wreaths Across America so bad, because you want to be part of something so huge. If people would understand the fact that these people, everyone in that cemetery, they all signed that name on that bottom line.
Yeah.
And
I had a mother one time told me she was looking at her son's grave, and she said, it's just nice that he is with so many people who were so wonderful.
Exactly.
And it was Reed's down. I'm thinking, these are great people, but then I realized, oh, you mean the people that he lays with. And there's something about grief that when you add honor to it, it transforms it into something more beautiful. And people don't really process that. The idea that it's like what Wreaths Across America does for a lot of the Gold Star families, I've noticed, and they've said this in different ways, is they are no longer, they're no longer haunted by the ghosts of their children or their beloved ones. They walk with them now.
They walk with them.
We're going to take a quick break, Madison. We're going to come back on the other side of this break and talk with our good friend Jane.
With us.
Yeah, hope you guys give us a call at 615-292-6366. Madison with a T is all over this somehow magically in the city of New Orleans. Jerry Hayes and I will keep you going a little further down the road. One more hour left here on Road Gang Radio. Hope you guys have been enjoying this special edition. We'll be back after these messages. More coffee coming my way. Thank you.
The mission of Wreaths Across America is unwavering, remembering our fallen heroes, honoring those who are currently serving, along with their families, and most importantly, teaching the next generation about the value of freedom. And you can join our mission with a $17 donation that sponsors a fresh Maine balsam remembrance wreath. Each wreath will be laid in honor of a veteran who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. To sponsor your wreath, please visit wreathsacrossamerica.org. That's wreathsacrossamerica.org.
In a video game, if you get enough experience, you level up. And when you level up, you gain more skill. And with enough skill, you beat the boss and win the game.
Sounds a lot like trucking, doesn't it?
Except in trucking, you don't beat the boss, you become the boss. And if you want to be the boss, you gotta meet the boss.
And that boss? Carrier's Edge boss, Jane Jazrawi.
Want your drivers to level up? Carrier's Edge has the training, comprehensive safety, compliance, and best practices on one website. It's a simple subscription with no contract and no commitment. Learn more. Try it out. Level up. CarriersEdge.com.
Hey, come on! We're starting the game!
All right, I'm coming. Wait for me. CarriersEdge.com.
The Joshua Chamberlain Society is unlike any other veterans organization. It's truly a family, and I know that firsthand from working with them myself. Their mission is to make wounded veterans and families of deceased veterans feel the support and appreciation of their community for life. Our veterans' injuries are permanent, and so is the JCS support. From monetary assistance like paying utility bills or college funds to helping our heroes find purpose, JCS is a family that surrounds and supports the heroes who have sacrificed so much. Learn more and make your donation at chamberlainsociety.org. That's chamberlainsociety.org.
I'm not sure if I can get the dog tag placed, me personally. Someone will take care of it. Our good friend Kent Aldridge goes by the handle of 4 wrote me, could you do me the honor of placing a dog tag for Pop? That would be so cool. Corporal Asa F. Moss, please and thank you. Maybe I can get it done today.
What?
I actually have a window to get that done today.
You know what we could do when we see Fred? Let's just ask Fred if he can take us over there.
Yeah.
And if Dave's there, he can because Ken, normally the person does it. He's probably off today. But I bet if we sweet talk Dave over there.
We should be able to.
He could probably print one of them out, and we can take it out there and give him ping the tree, take pictures of it, and send it to him.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll take care of it.
Yep.
Come hook or crook, some way, 4 we will take care of this for you. We promise that, completely promise that. Hope you guys are doing great. Our good friend Doug Smith, this is why I love people here. So I got a chance, our friend Doug Smith, who works with the Lutzy 43 Foundation, do you know them? Do you know about this, Jerry, the Lutzy 43 Foundation? So Doug does really great work with them, has gotten a chance for Dave and Mike Lutzenkirchen, to become good friends, apologizing to me for, like, in the midst of all that chaos, taking 5 minutes out of his time to actually sit there and talk with me for a little bit.
Yep.
He had to go to Bangor last night. I will see you in D.C. later on. It was good to talk to you, Doug, as well. Thank you for jumping in and giving us the good word. Lots of folks are still participating out there, but we do have a phone call if we still got her. Jane, are you there?
Hello, Jane.
Hello, Jane.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, there you are. Loud and
you
proud. Can you hear her?
I barely can hear her.
Let me see if I can try now. Can you hear her now? Try now, Jane.
Yep, can you hear me?
Oh, I got you now, girl. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
I was, you were on the tip of my tongue last night. I was sitting there talking with Jimmy Mack, and I sure hate the fact that you didn't get to come over because the company you work for now wouldn't let you. But I just, for the folks out there, Jane's husband, she's been hauling these wreaths for several years, several years to honor her late husband who was served in the military. And Jane, I met her last year, super nice woman, believes in Wreaths Across America much, the best. And Jane, we just wanted to say, even though your new company wouldn't allow you to come up here, I just want to personally say thank you for everything you've done to all the soldiers and everything you've represented and helped. I just wish you was here hauling that wreath to your husband again.
But somebody will do it for
really
you. Let me tell you something. We're thinking of you, Jane. A lot of people here asked for you. We wanted to let you know that. That's important to us that you are here. As far as we're concerned, you are here.
That's right.
And that's important to us. You got it. How are you doing? How you doing over there? What's the world treating you like?
I'm doing well. I'm actually doing behind-the-scenes stuff now with the local, our local coordinator. He took over. He's only 17 years old, and he took over for his grandfather, who did it for 17 years. He built the Iowa Veterans Cemetery here.
Oh, my God.
And they call him the father of Iowa Arlington is what they called him. And he passed away last January right after the ceremony. So his grandson took over the project, and he's 17 years old, and he's the coordinator for the Iowa Veterans Cemetery. So I'm helping them kind of behind the scenes. Their truck was going to arrive the other day, and they didn't know how to get it unloaded, and it's different this year since I'm not helping to deliver them, so I was helping them with that, and I'm excited. I can still help with the project in some way,
That's awesome.
By the way,
thinking awesome.
And Jane shows you all what you can do. Like I said, Jane, who's been such a presence up here, the thing that's so interesting is that it's the mission that's so important to you. That, you'd love to be here with us, but you didn't say, well, that's it, I'm going to take my ball and go home. You said, no, how can I continue?
Find another way.
How can I continue to be a part of this? And it's a great reminder to our friends who have never been up here and want to be involved and don't know what to do. You can be a part of the change by simply going to that website and figuring out what they need from you and how it is you can help in your local community. And if people want to call, there are people here who will actually give them tips. And Jane just gave you a great tip.
Yep.
You can get involved behind the scenes.
Exactly.
That's exciting, by the way. I just love the fact that you made lemons into lemonade, although I wish you make it into hot cocoa because it's kind of cold.
It is cold up here, Jane. I'm going to tell you, Jane, it's cold up here. It's cold.
But we just wanted to have you call in. We love you, and we're sorry you're not here. But we are thrilled that you are with people who are just starting to figure out how to make all this happen. They couldn't have asked for a better expert.
Exactly.
So you are the gift to your community. Thank you, Jane.
And I do hope and pray that that the new young man and the company you work for sees how important this is, not just to you, but how important it is to the community out there in Iowa, and let you come back and join this and get that one wreath that I know meant so much to you, because we talked about it last year. Just even if so that they know he's never forgotten.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And Jane, by the way, next time you see your boss, just point him, tell him to take a trip to Damascus. God tends to take people on the way, take care of people on the way. Thank you, Jane. Have the best of days, okay?
Have a super day,
Jane.
Jane.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you.
Bye.
Mm-hmm. That's good people. Bobby McDonald's giving us a call. Jane, you can be a part of the conversation, too, at 615-292-6366. My journeys to get here were so kind of convoluted that when I put up a picture of me and this African-American lady who was her first year driving a truck here, Jess, we got a picture together. I just put up a picture when I finally got here saying I made it. I've never seen this before in my life. I got 209 likes on a Facebook picture by simply saying I made it.
Look good.
You don't realize the impact you have on people when you're out there struggling
Jimmy
at the
Mac,
airport.
you went through fits to get up here, buddy.
I love it.
I'm sitting there. I'm saying, you sent the one down. I'm on my way to Columbia Falls, Maine, and everything. I said, see you here, Jimmy. And the next thing I know, I seen this says, flight got canceled. I'm like, oh, Lord, Jimmy Mac going nuts. And then the next thing, you're flying into Providence, Rhode Island or something, then flying to another spot. I will say you are one dedicated man
from being a reporter. It's from being a reporter and following military convoys, too. So I don't know if people know what as a trucker, most of these guys, military people, know what this means. But I'm telling you, if you've ever arrived someplace where you're supposed to be and everybody left early and you're the only one there, you'd be amazed at how quickly you improvise to get yourself into something to get up the road, man.
You do whatever you got to do.
You improvise, you adapt, you overcome, as one branch likes to say.
I'll never forget. It's kind of like what happened to you. I was flying I was going to go to Carlisle, Pennsylvania from Alabama. And my flight, and I guess being a dumb old jarhead Marine that's stubborn and don't give up for nothing, I got checked in and everything, and they said, your flight's been canceled. I said, my flight's been canceled? I said, yeah. I said, well, because I was flying into New Jersey. And I said, well, what about LaGuardia? They said, it's canceled. They said, but JFK is still taking a flight, and we got a flight going out in 30 minutes. And I said, why is all that canceled? Well, they're expecting a big snowstorm. And I'm like, I'm an old truck driver. I can handle that snowstorm. Off I go. I get to JFK, right? And I get to my rental car, and I was going to get one of them little small rental cars. And this boy says, where are you going? I said, well, I'm going over to Carlisle. He said, you might need this daggum big four-wheel drive Jeep. I said, well, I don't want to pay, for that. He said, no, I'm going to let you have it for the same price. Jimmy Mac, I no more get across the daggum bridge, and here it hit.
Oh, man.
And it snowed, and it was the year that storm, we got out to Carlisle, seen Schaefer Trucking and some stuff like that at New Kingston. I literally ended up hauling drivers because they couldn't go nowhere. I mean, they got like 2 foot of snow that night. I was using that Jeep to haul drivers from there down to the daggum Flying J,
just
so they could get some breakfast.
And all because of the grace of one person at a rental car.
At a rental car. Because if he wouldn't have given me that Jeep, there's no way I'd ever made it. But he gave me that. And when I got back to turn it in, I made a special deal to go over and thank him for doing that.
I don't blame you. You know what's crazy? I was thinking about this the other day and I wasn't angry. I was actually thrilled that she asked. My niece said, well, why is four-wheel drive so important? And I realized that, we say that all the time to people about the idea about being in a Jeep as opposed to being in a sedan or something.
Yep.
And it's like I realized that how many people grew up in a world where we were kind of raised by shade mechanics, and even the people who weren't shade mechanics were around enough shade mechanics that even guys who wouldn't, like people today who would normally not know anything about cars or trucks, knew about it back then, not because they wanted to, but because there was a whole class of people that did
and loved it.
And loved it. And it's really interesting too, when my niece asked me what four-wheel drive does, my first reaction internally was like, what are you talking about? She was like 26 years old. And I'm like, no, that's about the time maybe you should ask that question. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I've had that grace note too, where somebody has given me a different vehicle based on the weather. Because the one consistent thing, boy, this is a great story. The reason why I didn't just start screaming at people in the airport, the pilot that brought us to from New Orleans was the same pilot that was supposed to do the flight to Bangor.
Right.
Let me tell you something about that young man. He was the one that cut loose his attendant crew who had run out of hours.
Right.
Sped over a new crew to get people off. He had to board us. He got us back on the plane. It was American that blew it. They blew it. They tried to put people on top of people. They tried to cram more people in the plane and killed 30 minutes, and in doing so, clocked him out.
Yep.
He knew that the two women behind the counter who had nothing to do with it were going to get all kinds of grief. He stood there at the counter until every single person who was on that plane got accommodated for where they were going.
Good
next.
for him.
And then
Good
walked away.
For him.
The man at the who gave me the ticket to Providence actually said, technically you're only supposed to be rerouted for free to the place that you were going to in the first place. And he said there's not even a direct flight from Providence over to Bangor that hooks up with us. He goes, and he was telling me that. He said, so I really, really can't help you, and I really shouldn't be doing this, so I don't know what I can tell you. And he handed me the ticket, and he kept saying, so whatever you can work out, you work out, as he handed me the ticket.
Wow.
And so then I got in line, and every step along the way, this guy Jose, because the moment I rode in, I needed a 50-minute drive. I needed a 50-minute drive. When you put that in Uber, it's 3 hours in advance. I knew when he had to arrive. So the plane arrives here. I need you to be there.
Yep.
Somebody picked it up immediately, which meant I had his contact. I said, listen, Jose, I know what you guys do is driving at night. It's tough. I said, you have to promise me that if you're taking this gig, don't drop this. I have no time to maneuver.
We ain't got time.
He said, what kind of coffee do you like?
Mm-hmm.
He wrote me back. He said, what kind of coffee do you like? And he had a cup of coffee for me. But picking up the rental car in Boston, the people who on the phone, they said the two guys working there are Dwayne and Leon. He said they'll know you're coming.
Yep.
And as I walked in, they said, you must be Jimmy Mack. And I said, yeah. They said, just need a driver's license from you. And it was the people. It was the people that get you through the trip all the time.
And you know what's the funny thing? The people here at Wreaths Across America.
That's Jimmy,
that's what they do. I'll never forget when I'm coming up here Tuesday. I get to, you're talking about four-wheel drive and everything, because I drive my big Dodge pickup. I literally had to put my pickup in four-wheel drive as soon as I hit Maine. And I kept it in four-wheel drive, and I get here, and I called Courtney and told him I'll be there by so-and-so time. When I got here, as soon as I walked in the door, this gentleman said, you must be Jerry. I said, that's me. He said, man, I've been told that we need to load you right now so you can turn and burn that four-wheel drive up and get back south. And by God, they went way out of their way to accommodate me to make sure that I got back out of here, because they knew these reefs had to be in Arlington at a certain time. And the people up here at Wreaths Across America, they bust their tails every way they possibly can to make sure that you are taken care of. That the drivers got food. I'm sitting here looking at one gentleman right now. He's sitting there, got a whole flat of cupcakes right in front of him. And I don't know if he's guarding them, but there's a lot of cupcakes in front of him.
He's very much locked into his phone,
He's locked
too,
into that phone.
because he doesn't realize that we're talking about him.
I know you noticed that, too?
He's got those great Shock Z headphones on.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I have those. Have you ever,
do you?
Oh, my God. Well, they're terrific. And it was Marty Ellis. You know Marty Ellis at OOIDA?
Yeah, OOIDA.
He's the one that turned me on to him. And what he
Yep.
actually told me was, I said, what's the great thing? He said, you do a lot of power walking, a lot of hiking, right, in urban areas. I'm a big urban hiker. I really am.
Yep.
I'll go, like, abandoned buildings and all that. He says you don't lose your peripherals. You know how when you have headsets on, you become less aware of what's around you. He said those actually tap into your ear, but they're not inside your ear, covering your ear, so you can hear external noises.
Yep.
But obviously he can't.
He can't hear
He
nothing.
can't hear nothing we're saying, by the way. But he's
I
He's
thought he was going to take him out for a second.
he's got a great Santa beard, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He's got a fantastic Santa beard here. It's Wreaths Across America, guys. My good friend Jerry Hayes and I are broadcasting live from the driver's lounge. Forart, our good friend, says awesome. He actually jumped into the chat on YouTube and says thank you so much. We're going to take care of you, buddy. We'll make sure this. I actually have a little bit of time today. The only thing I have to do today is wait for my baggage to finally arrive in Bangor.
It took him all week to get his luggage up here, folks. So he had to go out and buy all this stuff, so he doesn't come around wearing the same clothes all the time. So
actually, these are the same clothes, by the
way.
Are
they? Yeah. Oh, I thought they had different ones.
But you know what I did though, right? I got the lint brush out. I hung it up in the shower, let it steam.
Clean them all up.
I have to tell you, the people last night, Jerry, are so typical of Maine. It was this elderly couple, vibrant. I want to call them vital. Their oldest son was 64. I was stunned that he was that old. They look very vital, very young. Right. They came out. And they were going, and the son kept saying, Mom, Dad, you can leave. The guy's on his way. And they said, no, we'll stay with him. And they stayed with me all night, Jerry. They stayed with me until the guy showed up. The furnace was fine. It had to be reset. It was the storm had knocked out the computer system. And it just had to be reset.
Like I said, they got a bad storm. That's for sure.
It was something else. People, I'll put it this way. They told me, and I missed it because I was here late.
Right.
They told me, I was told point blank, that people were calling them because they're both in there. I realized it was only like about 30 minutes into the conversation when they said, well, our son is 64. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Got a little bit of age.
Unless he was born to you when you were 18.
Yeah.
I'm like, how old are you? And then they hit me with it, 88 and 86.
Oh,
and if they had told me 68 and 66, I'd have bought it.
Yeah.
I would have completely bought it. We have lived
88?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Jerry, we have lived so long in our generation as to be young again. Because, man, there's something that happens when the country stops smoking, 2 packs of Pall Malls a day and using whiskey as NyQuil. People started living a whole lot longer around here. That's the case. All right, so we're almost done with your story. So you do the magazines. Okay, so what are you doing now? What's happening now?
Me and my son.
The RV adventure.
Yep, the RV adventure. We travel all over America with our RV. We sold our log cabin up in the Smokies back in November of 23, jumped in a travel trailer, and we joined an organization called 1,000 Trails, which was absolutely awesome. They've got 205 locations, and me and Vicki are doing our very best to go out there and see each and every one of them. We'll be in Florida all year. We got about 8 locations we'll be seeing in Florida throughout the winter. Then I'll be going to the Louisville Truck Show at the end of March.
We got by the way, Dave Nemo and I and Lindsay Lawler, we got a plan for that Louisville Truck Show.
I already got my set. They already got my booth up. We're one of these folks. We jump out, go ahead and bite the bullet, pay for the show, and get it done. But yeah, we'll be at Louisville again. This past year was my 35th year at the Louisville Truck Show.
By the way, today, of course, is December 7th.
Pearl Harbor.
It is Pearl Harbor Day. Our friend Trucker Boson points that out. This is an interesting thing, by the way, and this is why also Wreaths Across America is so important. I don't know if you know this. So Walker Percy has a wonderful book called Lost in the Cosmos, which is one of the most profound things I've ever read, but also it's making fun of self-help books, saying there is no easy solution to anything. Right. He has a great chapter on suicide where he explains that the lowest suicide rate in the country's history is December 7th, 1941 to December 7th, 1942. And he talks about the idea that something was so monstrously big that took people outside of themselves and made them feel as if they were part of a. He said there's a lot of things in there. Suddenly you have hyperemployment, which means you don't have enough people to fill jobs. Suddenly you have people who are deeply concerned about the people they love as opposed to themselves because they're all going out overseas. There's a lot of things at play there, though.
There's one thing I didn't bring up earlier that I want to bring up right now about Wreaths Across America and how they truly support this country. I don't know if you've seen it yet, the Pledge of Allegiance. We're right here in Maine. It's 1 mile long, and there's posts, and each post it says, "I pledge allegiance," and then you go a little further to the flag, a little further of the United States of America. It does the whole Pledge of Allegiance all the way down. Merle and them donated a little spot of land for the military to have parades and stuff like that. Where it's a burial site. These folks truly believe in this country more than anybody could ever thought about. Yes. Do they make money? Yes, they got to, or they couldn't stay in business. But you know what? They give back so much. I was at the dinner, like you said, last night, me and you was talking, and a lot of the local folks here in Columbia Falls, Maine, they were there just to support Wreaths Across America.
That's it.
And I want to throw this out there. I challenge all of my trucking buddies and trucking companies that I know for all the years. I deal with probably 300 of them that very closely, to just take a minute and think about what Wreaths Across America does and how you can help and donate your time, your driver's time, your truck and trailer. They're just an organization that believes in America and American soldiers. So if you've got time to think about that, and my challenge is out to all of y'all, please come join this Wreaths Across America. It will be so humbling to you once you see what goes on up here and how many wreaths. There's 600 and I want to say it's like 620, 630 trucks leaving this area. There's another 100 and something trucks that are picking up in warehouses. The thing of it is, it sounds like a lot. It's 700 something, semi-loads, but it's still not enough. Folks, they need your help. Please take time and come join them.
By the way, just want to let people know, our good friend Trucker Boaston asked about Miss Eleanor, who is a regular caller here. Joe J. pointed out, we knew this too, that she had passed. She passed during our big kind of transition over here as well too. And of course, Trucker Boaston, she said she just came to mind with you guys being in Maine. Paranormal Pie Maine, we feel that too. But the thing is, that's the thing about this place over here too, is that remember, we all shuffle off this mortal coil. We all come to that end. The question is how do we choose to be remembered? And I will tell you, there's a couple of people who died over the past year who were big supporters of Wreaths Across America. It's one of the if you were invested in not being forgotten, if that's important to you, do this.
That's it.
If you make friends here, they will not forget you. They will.
When you're sitting there at that cemetery and all that your truck and your trailers being there, and it's a great marketing tool because they see your trucking company is volunteering to do this at these cemeteries. It makes your local folks, I know it does me, really proud to be that's one of my companies that supports this thing.
Yeah.
So yes, please, if you've got time, call Courtney.
Yeah, and by the way, we all, despite having so much interconnectivity, we're so separated, by the way. We're so disconnected from one another. This is one of the places where you can actually connect to people. Jane's phone call is important. It'd been very easy for Jane, having been told by her company, we're not interested in that, to get upset. But Wreaths didn't do anything wrong.
Nope, Wreaths did not do nothing wrong, but she still stepped up to the plate.
So she stepped up to the plate, and she got herself deeply involved in her own community. There are people who say, why does this particular wreath company need this money? I tell people, look, it's like they're still going to celebrate and honor you if you just do your own thing and work hard to create something to really help veterans and to help Gold Star families and Blue Star moms and everybody else out there. By the way, here's my order of action. So I'm going to probably go take a quick break after this show is over with today. We have made a promise to a friend.
Yep.
We are going to see if we can take care.
I hope he sent you all his information that we need.
Yeah, and somebody will take care of that. He did, but somebody will take care of that, guys. We promise you before
Guaranteed.
this is all over with. We'll get that taken care of for on. I go to Washington, D.C. Are you going to D.C.? Or are you going?
Nope, I'm going to deliver wreaths. Me and my Blue Dodge.
Back to Bama, huh?
Well, last year I had 5 different stops with my wreaths. This year, and I ended up in Ringo, Georgia. This year, they're still trying to figure out exactly where all they got me going, because I take the leftovers. Like if semis needed an extra, it couldn't hold all the wreaths that was going to this one place, and they needed 5 or 10 or 15 boxes. Well, they're going to throw them on mine, and I'm going to be the one who will get there and get them off, and I then go to the next one. I take all the overflows. Is basically the best way to put it.
Yeah, you and what's his name, Steve from Ashley Furniture did that as well too. It's like, so what do we got left? What do we got left? It's like, how do we got to get this inventory clear off. We got to make sure that everybody gets one because everybody needs one.
They need it. I don't want that soldier that signed on.
It all gets started because that's the whole reason. He had 15,000 additional wreaths, so it'd be nice to pick one section and lay them out.
Yeah.
And literally, the guy walks over to Wayne Hansen and says, "What's going on here?" And he says, "What do you mean?" He explains, and he goes, "Well, why doesn't my son get one?" It's wrecks you.
I mean, I was literally at a toll booth, in I want to say it's the one in New Hampshire when you're coming up 95. He seen my trailer because I got a Wreaths Across America sign on the back of it that I told him I wanted one. And he said, "Are you involved with that?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He says, "How do I donate?" I said, "Well, get with Wreaths Across America and, get with them." And he goes, "My mother and my grandmother both served, and they're buried in this military cemetery. How do we get involved?" And this is a guy in the middle of the night at a toll booth wanting to get involved. And it was just so cool.
It's very cool. 615-292-6366. A lot of you guys are out there commenting, making a lot of great comments. We're going to come back in about 3 minutes or so here. Come back on the other side of this break. Jerry Hayes, myself, Jimmy Mack, here at the Wreaths Across America Truck Drivers Lounge. Madison is over in the city of New Orleans at the Degas House Studios, Fastport Studios. We'll be seeing our friends from Fastport very soon. I arrive in Washington, D.C. tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon, and then the Vet Ready Summit, the Army-Navy game, all of that stuff is going to be a part of the transition trucking as well. I'm going to tell Jerry about that when we come back. We'll be right back after these messages.
There was an era when truckers were out there, alone. Long rides, dark nights, miles from home.
As part of the Road Gang, though, Dave Nemo helped change all of that. As a voice in the darkness, Dave kept drivers going with music, jokes, and of course, friendship. And if you miss those days, Radio Nemo's got something for you. Nemo's Night Beat puts the gang back together with an hour of trucking tunes and road songs, classic comedy, and those fun factoids that you came to expect. Nemo's Night Beat is Dave at his very best every Monday night at 7 in the Center on iHeart, Odyssey, and Live 365, as well as Tuesday night at 9 on Wreaths Across America Radio. So head on over to RadioNemo.com and join the gang on the beat. Nemo's Night Beat.
The mission of Wreaths Across America is unwavering, remembering our fallen heroes, honoring those who are currently serving, along with their families, and most importantly, teaching the next generation about the value of freedom. And you can join our mission with a $17 donation that sponsors a fresh Maine balsam remembrance wreath. Each wreath will be laid in honor of a veteran who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. To sponsor your wreath, please visit wreathsacrossamerica.org. That's wreathsacrossamerica.org.
St. Christopher Truckers Fund provides free health and wellness programs for drivers to help prevent some common medical conditions seen in the industry. These programs include diabetes prevention, Rigs Without Cigs, a tobacco and nicotine cessation program, Healthy Habits for the Long Haul, a 12-week total body wellness program, a vaccine voucher program that includes free flu, shingles, COVID, and pneumonia vaccines, and GPS, Get Preventative Screenings. That includes free at-home cancer screening tests. These programs are available to Class A over-the-road semi-truck drivers. For more information or to register for a program, visit the St. Christopher Fund website at truckersfund.org.
Jerry will be joining us again shortly, just in a little bit here. We are broadcasting live from the Truckers Lounge at Wreaths Across America, helping move the mission forward. As they say, remember, honor, teach. This will be my 8th year coming up here. So when Rick told me he'd been doing it for 8 years, I didn't believe him. He actually stopped, paused, and said 9. And I figured he said 9 because, and I know he knows how to do this as a dispatcher and kind of the head man in the center of it all, but he had a little bit too much of a grasp on it to be just like a newbie in this situation. I'm talking, of course, my good friend Jerry Hayes, who's been a friend of Dave Nemo for an incredibly long time. How did you meet Dave, by the way?
I met Dave back when he was very first started. I was actually a driver, and I would call in. That's how I met Dave Nemo. And then we finally, when I left being over the road, I met him at a truck show years ago when I was with Crete Carrier, and we've just been friends ever since. In fact, when right after we got started in our own magazine, National Trucking Magazine, Dave Nemo was actually nominated to be written up by another driver who is also in our magazine. So that's how Dave Nemo got a whole complete life history of Dave Nemo in National Trucking Magazine.
You want to talk about a guy who, my father was in the Pentagon during the Vietnam War. Dave actually was in Korea during the Vietnam War, and we were laughing because, we spend a lot of time with a lot of our friends out there, who have served in a lot of foreign conflicts, have served at home, and it was the hardest thing. He always would downplay it.
Yep.
And
everybody
downplays it, and it's just my father was the one that finally came to peace with it. All of us have a mutual friend, a great friend of the show and a great American, got a Silver Star, our good friend Adam Rock, who is quick to remind people, you go where they tell you to go and you do what they tell you to do. Did you do that? Yeah. Then don't downplay what you did.
You did what you're supposed to.
You did what you're supposed to. The only people that should be really pressing hard and long to get into places where terrible things are happening are people who actually have promotional dreams.
Yep.
And God bless them, too. But there are plenty of people like Travis Manion with the Travis Manion Foundation. God rest his soul. If not me, then who? I don't know if you know that story. You should look up the Travis Manion Foundation as well. He didn't have to be there, and a lot of his friends tried to talk him out of his last deployment because there were ways out for him because he had done so much already. And he just said, I can't. Well, he said, and here's why. He said, if not me, who? He said, and his worry was that they would deploy some wet behind the ears kid who would get killed. When he said, I have the best fighting chance to get out of there alive. Yep. He said if I choose to sit this one out, and by the way, he wasn't saying that those who choose to sit out after having been on 2 and 3 deployments, but for him, that was his decision to make.
Yep.
But for so many other people, did you go where they told you to go? Did you do what they tell you to do? At the end of the day, did they put honor on your discharge? Then you have nothing ever.
Yep.
All we ask is that but when they do what you tell you to do, you tell them what you did and only what you did. That's
and
the
own up to it.
And own up to it and be a part of it. It makes a big difference.
Big
you
difference.
Have service in you, don't you?
Oh yes, sir. I served from 1978 to 91. Got out. I thought I was fixing to have to go back in. I got out about 3.5, maybe 4 months prior to the Kuwaiti conflict. Yeah, I thought because I went from the active reserves to the inactive reserves, because my time was up and everything like that. And I'm like, I told my wife, I said, don't be surprised we don't get a call back. But They never called my old unit up that I was
Boy,
with.
people got calls, though. My dad got a call.
Oh, there's a lot of people got called.
My dad got a call. He got a call, and it was like because, they had no idea how long the war would go, if they would need JAGs and all that stuff. And he's like, I got 5 kids.
Yep.
We got a text message coming in here.
From Jane.
Thank you, my friend. You are too sweet. Much love and support from Iowa. Jane Good, you are good. You are the absolute goods, and we love having you on here. That's good people, by the way. This is the first one. She did 7 years, right?
Yeah, she did 7. I think it was 6 or 7 years of doing the wreaths. She had been doing it for years and years with the other company and loved it. And the thing of it is, her company was so supportive of this. She drove for a tanker outfit. She was a local driver. But because they knew the story of her husband, passed away, and he was a big military person, and she wanted to be the one putting wreaths on his grave, that they went out and bought a dry van trailer just for her to come to Maine to haul these wreaths.
That's quality stuff. I'm checking with Madison. She sent me a text earlier. I missed it. Madison, is Jody still there? If he is, drop him in. If not, we will continue to talk. He's there. Hey, Jody, good morning.
What's up, fellas? I'm just out here walking the dog.
There you go, Jody. How you doing?
We're doing it. How are you?
Man, if I was any better, I don't even know if I could stand it.
Yeah, we're having a good time here. There are lots of people coming. I'm going to be posting a picture of Jerry on the air here in a second, guys. Jody, what's happening today? What are you doing? It's weird that you're in the final half hour of Road Gang Radio Special Edition, but what's going on? I mean, you walking the dog, but where are you? In Florida or are you in Michigan? He's either in one of those two places, by the way.
Here's the dog.
Yeah, that's Dexter saying good morning. No, I'm in Florida. I got to run up just across the border here tomorrow and pick up a load and head down to Miami. Where that no snow is at.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jody, have you thought about ever doing this here, man? Because, one of the things, Jerry, that Jody we actually had a whole show about people's travel bucket list, and Jody actually wanted to figure out if he could figure out a way to motorcycle to all these different veterans museums and then just keep on kind of making his way from the Michigan area, from the peninsula area, and then motorcycle all the way back down to Florida.
There's a gentleman that I know very, very well. You know him. His name's Chris Gonzalez.
Right. Oh, Gonzo. He's been at the studio, man.
Chris, that's all he does. He gets on that Harley, off he goes. He might be gone 2 or 3 weeks, but all he does is go by different veteran cemeteries all over this country. He does.
That's what he does.
He calls me up and he says, I said, where you at? He said, I'm in Iowa. What are you doing in Iowa? I'm at this cemetery, at this veterans banquet and everything else. That's what Chris does. So if he wants to know about how to do it on a bike, reach out to Chris, and he'll definitely get on there with you.
And by the way, Jody, Gonzo's your kind of people. Trust me. If you get a look at what Gonzo looks like and what you look like, dude, Gonzo's your kind of people. What else is happening, my brother? Just dropping in on us on a Sunday morning?
Yeah, I happened to get up and I seen that you were broadcasting, and it's like, hey, I'm going to give him a holler real fast. But to answer your question, yes, I have thought about doing this. Honest to God, I wanted to do it this year, just not say nothing to nobody. But with the rates being the way they are, 'cause I don't have nobody backing me up besides me. So to take that kind of time, yeah, to take that kind of time and spend that kind of money, I wish I could do it. I really wish I could do it, but it's getting to the point to where hopefully within a couple of years, I'm just going to snag up a trailer and just drive up there whether they like it or not, and just do it because it needs to be done. Granted, there's a lot of other drivers. There's a lot of drivers doing it. One more driver just helps out that much more.
You know what?
That's all there is to it.
I know what you're saying, and like me, I don't have a semi no more. I drove them for years back in the 80s and 90s and stuff, but I just had to do it. I'm like you. I had to bite that bullet and say, you know what? Here we go. So I hooked. So if you see a blue Dodge driving down the road with a box trailer that's got Wreaths Across America, it's this old fat boy here doing exactly what you're talking about. Just bite the bullet and come on.
I can tell you this. If I see you, because Jimmy knows, like he said, I'm running usually between Michigan and Florida, sometimes up to Texas. But if I see that blue Dodge, from one fat boy to the other. We're going to sit down and have dinner, and we're going to get fatter together.
You got a deal. You got a deal, dude.
Jody, I tell you what, you got my brain cooking. By the way, I have some ideas about how we can get more people involved through Road Gang Radio. How we can actually represent all. That's the other thing too. Remember, you don't have to actually do the drive. There's ways you can participate, and maybe we'll sit down and all of us, because we got a nice little gang out there. I'm surprised at the number of listeners we have this morning.
Yeah,
we got a nice little gang out there, Jody, and maybe we'll put something together that the whole Road Gang group will actually be able to get up here, if not together, then in spirit to some degree.
Oh man, can you imagine a group of the Road Gang up here?
I got some great ideas for but I mean it's going to take money to make money. And it's going to take a lot of donating, but I mean, there's some idea like Road Gang Radio calendars. Sell those and use that money to sponsor it, stuff like that.
Oh, I got some thoughts, man. And you I like where your head's at, man. We will talk more as this kind of goes on, but we'll figure it out together. We will figure it out together.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jody. Our good buddy Jody is giving us a call here from Florida, man, with the Florida plan.
I'll be down there.
Remember,
next
Jody
time.
is the Florida man who saves puppies from alligators with the cigar still in his mouth, not the guy who ends up on the police blotter. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Jody.
Hey, love you guys too. Have a good day, man. Stay safe, stay warm.
Thank you, Jay. Always good talking to Jody. We get a chance to talk. A lot of people are actually coming in here right now. We're starting to fill up.
Starting to get a lot of folks in here. I just seen J.B. Hunt had a truck roll by just then, getting ready to come in.
Well, and that's the other thing too. People, that convoy's already started. They're already they're past Machias now. I mean, they're on their way. But what's important about that is to remember that it doesn't end there, and that's why Jerry and I are here for this last half hour of Road Gang Radio. This big sort of check-in as well. I want to talk really quickly though about culture, and we've been talking about some football scores and some other information here as well, and. So many things going on in the trucking industry right now with non-domiciled and ELP and all that stuff. I've been thinking about this, and I've been kind of working something in my head. I'm really encouraged by Derek Bars, who's the new head of the FMCSA. And I realized something about this is that for too long, and I mean this Republican, Democrat, all administrations, for too long there's been too much emphasis on the FMCSA about how that office can be used to create opportunity. Nothing wrong with that, but opportunity for onboarding immigrants, sometimes illegal, sometimes doing things the right way. Opportunity for businesses, for small businesses, for big businesses to make more money. Has it ever occurred to anybody that the FMCSA's job is there are two kinds of ways you can run those offices, as an enforcement agent or as an opportunity agent? But I don't believe you can be an opportunity agent until you actually go about the business of enforcing the laws that are already on the books.
100%.
The worst part about all this stuff, Jerry, is that we don't need a law. People say, we ought to have a law, and I always say, we have a law.
Law's there. We just got to enforce it.
We got to enforce it. So if we start enforcing these laws, we create a safer environment, and the safer environment then leads to a place where we can all have a lot of opportunity. Enforcement is culture.
100%.
And we've had people on from J.J. Keller who've talked about this, that if you create an atmosphere of across-the-board enforcement, that makes all the difference. We got people coming in here. Good to see you, man. Don't be quiet. You can keep on talking.
He's the one we need to get in touch with.
We're going to talk to him in just a little bit.
We're going to sweet talk.
Courtney George is coming in here. By the way, we're wrapping up. This is our last 20 minutes or so, baby.
I'm glad I made it for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's good to have you here.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we get you a microphone? Let's get her a microphone, by the way. Let me see if I can grab one out. Actually, why don't you put the headsets down and talk to Jerry Hayes while I get a microphone set up for you. Courtney George, you know gorgeous George. Hold on a second. Take this from me, Courtney.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day.
Oh, I guarantee you they are, Miss Courtney. Good to have you on here with us.
Well, it's a beautiful day here in Columbia Falls. The weather is fabulous.
But
the sun is shining.
You're bundled up, though, Miss Courtney.
It's still cold to me. I'm from the South.
I know what you're saying.
From the South. This is very cold weather to me still. But for us to have sun shining and blue skies, I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, it is gorgeous out there right now.
It was great. Like, it was the perfect weather for the convoy to leave.
Oh.
To have all that. It's just not a cloud in the sky.
No. Big, beautiful blue skies. You still see all this white stuff on the ground, but, hey, as long as I'm inside this driver's lounge at Wreaths Across America, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, look, this lounge is great. It's a little less busy than what it has been, which I think for a couple people is definitely great. But it's still warm and cozy, and everyone's happy to be here, which is most important.
Guaranteed. Folks, as me and Jimmy Mac's been talking, if you want to be involved with Wreaths Across America, please reach out to Miss Courtney. You will fall in love with her like everybody else does. A great person, a great organization, and it'll bring it back down to real life and to your soul.
Well, that's very kind of you.
You can't talk right yet, Courtney, until right now. There you go.
It's very kind of Jerry for what he said. It was very complimentary.
We've had a great morning, by the way.
Oh, we have.
We've had a great morning.
There's still a lot of activity here.
I
think a lot of people didn't expect that there was going to be this much activity up here still.
Well, that's why we came in. I got very, very lucky. This one was very quiet when we first started. We knew that was coming, Courtney.
Yeah.
And that's always a cool thing. You're just going to sit there. There you go. I know you got to get off your feet, man. It's been.
Girl,
it's been.
It wore you out.
You look great, by the way, though. Somebody worn out.
Thank you for the kindness, because I was like, I feel like I've been run over by a Mack truck.
It has been nuts over here. We started off very quiet. Jerry and I talking about the football games yesterday, talking about all the unfolding events up here with the 4 o'clock dinner. By the way, I'm going to say this right now. I love that dinner. I'm so glad I fell asleep though.
Yes.
Because I fell asleep and woke up and I'm like, it's 4:45, and I went, well, I got to go over for the dinner, which meant that I wasn't sitting there waiting to eat for an hour. I won't lie. It's so necessary. It is so necessary, especially for the first timers. People have never been through it before. But, Jerry, I got to tell you, I woke up and I'm kind of like, and I knew nobody would be angry because of what I'd been through the last 24 hours. I was like, well, if I miss it, I miss it. I guess I'll just have to go hang out with Jerry and have steak now. You know exactly what I'm talking about here. By the way, our good friend Jane Good, Courtney, called into the show.
Jane is fabulous. I love her.
But did you hear what she's doing? This is crazy. No. She actually has taken point behind the scenes, helping. There's a veteran that just passed away. His lifetime goal was to build a veteran cemetery in their Iowa community. He finished it, and his grandson, 17, has taken point on it, and Jane is working behind the scenes to make sure they have their first Wreaths Across America laying there.
That's fantastic, because I know she wanted to come back up and was trying to get her carrier involved.
Yep.
And so
I think when we send them a recording of the interview, have I done our Jerry and I's impersonation of ourselves last night? My new thing, by the way, is I'm not going to complain about anything that hurts my feelings. I'm going to have Jerry complain about things that hurt my feelings. And when things hurt Jerry's feelings, they're like, Jerry's too big of a guy to go on the air and talk about this, but I got to make a stand here for Jerry. It's my new approach. But she called in. Bobby McDonald called in. A lot of great people. Dean Croke, it was his first time here, and he's got to tell you, he said he didn't realize it was on his bucket list until he experienced it.
Yep.
He was really excited about coming, but have you seen his content?
His content has been outstanding, and there's so many drivers that have loved seeing it, but so many companies, right? This is one of the places where you can get big companies, you can get little companies, you can get owner-operators, and them being able to see their trucks shined and out there at their best is what really is making a huge difference.
So tell us a little bit about what happened on the convoy this morning. I mean, in regards to getting the whole thing off. How was it?
The convoy was great this morning. It went off without a hitch. We were sitting there doing some broadcasting on Wreaths Radio, and then we played the audio from all the drivers that came through last night. And so that has been, was really good because I want to make sure that each and every one of them were featured, as well as everyone that we can get from here is featured. That it just shows the enormity of this industry, having over 400 carriers participating. And it's really, you can see it's energetic.
There goes Gully Transport right there.
I know, Gully's pulling right in right now. It's definitely something that you're seeing, and being able to have all of that happen is just huge. I mean, everyone's excited. They're moving, they're shaking. And that's what I love about it.
And it's crazy, too, because it's so funny, because remember about 5 years ago, if I was actually playing with my phone right now while we're talking, you would think, like, good God Almighty, the man is being rude. And yet every time each one of us has gone to our phone here, it's like, we know we're not being rude. It's we're dealing with content.
Yep.
Or we're dealing with people we're talking to. I got a great picture of you, Jerry. It's going up, dude. It's going up, dude. I'm going to put it on the Grandma Instant, then it'll make its way over to the Book of Faith and all that kind of stuff.
It'll give somebody a way to throw darts at.
Well, I hope so, man. I got nothing would flatter me more than if I walked into somebody's clubhouse, Jerry, and saw a picture of myself on a dartboard.
Yep.
I would be like, I will have made it. You actually make it.
Yep.
If people see your face on a dartboard, that's something you can frame.
What got me is some good friends down in Birmingham. I went over there, one of their trucking company and everything, going to visit with their director of recruiting. And again, you got to remember, I closed the magazine down in June of 23. Walk in his office, and they're laid on his desk, I mean, right on the corner, 3 of my magazines.
That's the best feeling in the world.
That's the best feeling in the world.
Somebody holds your challenge coin, best feeling in the world.
I go up to Cook Trucking when Greg Iverson was up there, and back years ago, we used to make everybody that was going to be at the truck show, we made them a poster, that they could hang up right there at the truck show and stuff. Greg had every one of those things hanging in his office at Cook Trucking. That made me feel really good that people went out that far to put those magazine covers and stuff like that out.
Want to give a big shout-out, by the way, to Trucker Boaston, who dropped a 10 spot on us, our good friend Ken Ulrich, who actually already had bought 5 Wreaths
for him.
A couple of days ago.
That's awesome.
We're going to be taking care of him today or tomorrow. We're going to figure out what to do to get his I got the information. He sent me the text with the information. So let me just kind of let him know to make sure we got this right. Frank is here. We will
there he is.
Make sure. We got 4 on the phone, by the way. He's actually given us a call.
Yep.
By the way, Captain Asa F. Moss, by the way. I also, listen to this, I told Jen about it. She asked if you could do her grandpa, please. Purple Heart recipient, Oscar Sternberg. Oscar A. Sternberg, Michigan, private. Yeah, she's got his gravestone. Make sure we get a wreath for that, too, guys. You got a wreath coming to your 4-odd, so you bought 5, so make sure one of those gets laid in his honor. Corporal Asa Moss. Asa F. Moss is Pops. That's who he's talking about. We'll take care of these for you, my friend. We will certainly take care of this. 4-odd, let's drop you in right now and tell you good morning. Courtney will translate since your headphones aren't on, okay?
Fabulous.
Okay, go ahead. What's going on for you? Got a big laugh out of that. What's going on, 4-odd?
Good morning. I thank you very much. That between the video of your dad at Thanksgiving and this, it's really made my holidays, man.
Courtney was one of the 10 people. Yeah, you got it, brother. And Courtney was one of the 10 people who got one of those videos. So I sent my father did a video for 1 or 2 people. I asked him. He says, "Wait a minute, we're doing videos for people." Who else is important to you? I'll take care of this right now. I will do this right now for you. And we're going to get Courtney on here in a second so that she can hear you. So, Courtney, I'm going to actually shut off your microphone and turn on your headset, so you're good to go.
Oh, fabulous.
There you go.
How are you today, sir?
I'm doing all right, Courtney.
He sounds like you thought he'd sound, doesn't he?
He's exactly what I thought he sounded like.
But yeah, we're going to take care. We're going to take care of Corporal Asa. We're going to take care of Jen's grandpa. We'll take care of Mr. Sternberg and all that stuff, brother. Yeah, and Courtney, when we actually on my birthday, he bought 5 on the spot.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing that.
We really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. But
I appreciate everything you did.
thank you so much.
You.
We got just a few minutes left here. Just like yesterday, 2 hours today, 2 hours tomorrow. But the 2 hours today happened when they were supposed to, as opposed to yesterday. But we're good to go for. We got the big thumbs up. We're going to take care of both of them today. That is just awesome.
Thank you very much.
You got it, brother. Have a good morning. Thank you, brother. Jerry Hayes, we will tell him. Thank you. By the way, Madison, you can hang up poor 4 hours for hanging out here with us. Courtney George joins us this morning. The last 2 hours I was supposed to do were really off schedule yesterday. You called me. It was hysterical, though. You can catch a train. I'm like, nope, I'm here.
When I was like, hey, catch the train, go to Boston. You can get a rental car easy. And you were like, I'm an hour and a half out, and I was like, say less.
Here we go.
He took his assignment seriously.
We take this very serious. Courtney, this year, because of our new formatting things, I have actually learned so much over this last couple of months what we can do. Jerry and I were talking about this for a while, and I have learned what we can do to actually help you guys move the mission forward starting in the next year. I mean, from the beginning, because there are so many things now, given what we can do on our new platform, that have suddenly become available. We had great numbers this morning. I mean, people they dropped in to kind of be a part of this, and I'll tell you right now, my sister, there's some really fun things we got cooking now because of this. Are you already planning for next year?
I'm going to try to get through 2013, and I'm not going to lie, or 2013, December 13th, and then 2026 we'll start planning on January 2nd.
And away we go, as Jackie Gleason said. Guys, we've only got a few minutes left here, and then my good friend Jerry and I got to do some logistics planning to kind of take care of for. You can ask me on the air.
Actually, just got the okay to go get the dog tags made, dude. Me and you and Fred are going to go out there. He's going to print the dog tags out, and we're going to go place it on their family tree now.
That's what we do.
Freddie's the best.
That's what we're going to do. That is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to run out of time here, by the way. Are you a football fan at all, Courtney?
Of course.
I got to tell you, anybody from Indiana right now must be cackling from on high. This will be the second year
plumb off the wall.
That Notre Dame and Indiana are going to make the playoffs. Miami's going to make the playoffs. I mean, I'm reading online. The people who actually vote on this, Bama's out. Yep. Everybody said it's like if the game had been close, it would have been a tough call. Yep. They said that one of the reporters who votes on this said, he goes, they haven't looked like a good team since the beginning of November. Yep. They said they're lucky they even got the win against LSU. Yep. LSU dropped two touchdown passes in that game, and they haven't looked the same. And it's about the eye test does count, especially when the other two teams you're up against have one less loss than you do.
Yep.
And that makes a difference, by the way. This has been Road Gang Radio, broadcasting live from the Truck Drivers Lounge here this is officially Columbia Falls, right?
Yes.
The problem with this damn place is you never know exactly where anything is.
No. There's a small town every other
Machias.
couple miles.
Machias.
Machias, the land of the free.
Some of these places are like incredibly charming for one block, and then kind of turn into like, is there like an evil tome inside of that building?
There's
I
no
love
zoning
Maine.
up here.
I love Maine. It's just.
Yes, I do. I absolutely.
It's the best.
I really love it in the fall. I really love it in the fall and in the spring and summer. Winter, yeah, I can deal with it, but hey,
my feelings on winter.
Come up here in the winter to do what I'm doing. I'll do it every time.
Yeah, my feeling on winter across the board is are there Christmas lights still involved, I can deal with winter. The moment you turn Christmas lights off. By the way, Courtney, I have an offer for you. Mardi Gras is in February this year, which is early, which means if the weather is warm, you have an excuse to not have to be in Maine.
I'm in. Say less. I'm in.
She's
You're going to be close to me. 3 hours?
You get to be part of a Johnny Cash and a June Carter Cash song. You're going to Jackson.
I am. Here we go.
Let's all go to Jackson. Throw that salt over your shoulder. Jerry spilled salt. I don't believe in
me. I just seen it.
I don't believe in that superstition anyway. I don't believe in any superstition. I believe in you guys out there in Road Gang Radio. I believe all. Thank you guys so much for those of you who actually dropped in, gave us a couple of nice donations. Shout out to Trucker Bosun. Shout out to 4Art. We're going to take care of you. All this stuff is moving in the right direction. I don't have any complaints whatsoever. Who do you like in the playoffs, Jerry? We started by talking about football.
Lord. Go Dogs is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I have to tell you, that's who I'm rooting for.
Go Dogs.
And how about it?
Even though I'm an Alabama fan, I'm going to say go Dogs now.
How about the Big Bad Ohio State Falls? Down goes Frazier.
Look here. Up here at the Drivers Lounge, when they lost last night, there were so many people yelling and screaming and so happy.
By the way, do me a favor, though. Don't let Louis Pugh know. I don't think he's – You think Louis Pugh over to Ida knows now? Oh, my God. That scream you heard in the distance was Louis Pugh. And John Maley over at Triple Tree Transport. They are not happy guys today.
No.
This is why I support no one and love everybody.
That way you support a ball.
By the way, I feel like that when I watch football now. There are very few teams I root for or against openly.
Yep.
There are people that like underdogs and, you get invested in all that. I just kind of enjoy football now.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, but
I just
I want
kind
to give a big shout out to the one person that's missing so much up here, and that's Dave himself. I wish he could have got to come up here. And visit.
Yeah, by the way, he's going to be.
The weather would have got him.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Pentagon on Friday. He's going to be dropping in, doing his thing, and I can't. I mean, the fact that he got to do it, though, God Almighty! I got to tell you, Courtney, Dave Nemo loved being here
with that Area 61. Out there being physical.
He's a madman, dude. He's a madman. I mean, he is like he's got no BMI. The dude is ripped. The gun show continues. Madison, play some music. Get us out of here. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you guys. This has been Road Gang Radio. Jerry Hayes, Jimmy Mack, and our good friend, Gorgeous George, Courtney George herself. We'll talk at you tomorrow. Nemo Nation with Dave.